I'm tired, man. You fucking 40-hour work. Sorry. These 40-hour, you know, these 40-hour overtime.
Yeah, I'm all about it. But, yeah, I ain't right. On Wednesday, it started, Thursday and Friday. Okay, I get that. I heard it on that Sunday, I can't follow it all.
I think we're just getting right now.
Yeah, I think it is.
It was about a month of 80-hour work.
Yes.
I'll be back on for 2 years.
I didn't know, I was not getting there, not all the way there, but I think I'm getting there.
Are you just doing it for like 2-3 months and then?
Oh, my kids are graduating, that's why I've been like really on it. I just stayed from, that's down, signature. I'm gonna take it. I'm like, you know what? Next year for my birthday, I'm gonna take me a December.
All right.
Good evening, you may be seated. This is the time set for the 8 p.m. initial appearance calendar for April 16th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the 1st of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar. I am going to call each of you up into the courtroom one by one, where I will ask you for your first and last name and your date of birth. I will then advise you as to why you were here, whether or not an attorney was appointed to represent you, what your upcoming court dates will be, and what your bond will be if you are eligible for bond, and what your release conditions will be. Some of you may have questions while I'm providing this advisement to you. I would just ask that you hold your questions until that advisement is completed. I would also caution you that your questions should only be related to release conditions and not as to your case. Any legal questions or concerns regarding the legal value of your case should be directed towards your attorney if you are appointed one. At this time, I am going to call Mr. Davalos to the podium, and Mr. Hernandez, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Is the state of hearing on anything? They have not. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jose Davalos, November 9, 1993.
You were here on 3 matters. You have 1 new case, and then you have 2 warrants for failing to appear for court dates. I'm going to first talk to you about your new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to both of those charges, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 24th at 8:30. Because you were on felony release at the time that this offense occurred, you're not eligible for bond today, so I did schedule an evidentiary hearing for you on April 23rd at 1:30. As to your warrants for failing to appear, attorneys were already appointed to represent you on those matters. You will have a status conference hearing on April 22nd on both matters at 8:30, and each of those warrants had a cash bond of $1,000. I would caution you against trying to pay that bond until you find out if you will be eligible for bond after your evidentiary hearing. So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of today. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Hernandez, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Jimenez, if you will please have Mr. Jimenez Corona, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Which Hernandez?
Dominique. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Dominic Hernandez, June 23rd, 1996.
You are here on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of kidnapping or with apprehension of injury, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to all of those counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 24th at 8:30. I did review the state's recommendations as well as the victim impact statement that was provided to the court. I did consider all those things. I do believe that a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50,000 is appropriate. If you are able to post bond, you will be released to pretrial services. If you are released to pretrial services, you will have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. You cannot possess any weapons. If you violate the no victim contact order in this case, or you fail to comply with your other release conditions, as well as failing to appear for court or your court dates, any bond that you post will be forfeited. A warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That is all I have to advise you of today. If you have no questions for me, you can step to the left and the officers will give you your paperwork. Mr. Jimenez Corona, if you'll please come to the courtroom, and Ms. Doyle, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yes, Jared Emmanuel Jimenez Corona, 23rd July 2001.
You are here today on a new case. You are charged with 2 counts of transporting or selling a narcotic drug, a Class 2 felony, 2 counts of transporting 2 counts of possession of a dangerous drug for sale, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, and 1 count of possession of a weapon in a drug offense, a Class 4 felony. I did find probable cause as to all of the counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a status conference hearing on April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 24th at 8:30. You have a cash-only bond in the amount of $15,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot possess any weapons. You must appear for all of your court dates. If you fail to appear for your court dates or comply with your release conditions, any bond that you post will be forfeited. A warrant would be issued for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of this evening. If you have no questions for me, you will step to.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You said the bond is $15,000?
$15,000 cash.
Cash, and I'm able to do payment plans on that one?
I believe that they have information in the back regarding a bail bondman and what they can do to help you. I don't set up the payment plans. I just tell you what the bond is.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Ms. Doyle, will you please come into the courtroom? Ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Mary Doyle, 8/29/92.
Just one moment. Okay. You are here on a new case. You are charged with 1 count of theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to all 3 counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 24th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $15,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim, and you're not to have any contact with any co-defendant. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date would result in the forfeiture of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of this evening. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Burt, will you please come into the courtroom, and Ms. Maria Ramos, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Yes.
Well, sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Lexamon Bird, 10991.
You were here today on two matters. You have one new case, and then you have a violation of probation. I'm going to first talk to you about your new case. So on your new case, you were charged with one count of criminal trespass in a residential structure, a Class 5 felony. I did find probable cause as to that offense. You do have a status conference hearing on April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 24th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you are able to post bond, you will be released to pretrial services with electronic monitoring. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, and you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim, nor can you possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment, you must comply with those orders. You do need to check in with probation within 72 hours of your release. If you fail to comply with the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date would result in the forfeiture of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. As to your violation of probation, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 23rd at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. Your release conditions are that you're not to possess any weapons. If you fail to appear for your court dates, any bond that you post would be forfeited, and a warrant would issue for your arrest in that matter as well. So between your two cases, you have a total secured appearance bond in the amount of $11,000. Make sure if you post it that you follow release conditions and that you show up to court. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of this evening. If you step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Ms. Ramos, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Medina, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Maria Ramos, 7/16/91.
You are here today because the grand jury charged you with the following: one count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony, one count of endangerment, actually 2 counts of endangerment, a Class 6 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is June 2nd of 2023. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have an arraignment hearing on April 23rd at 8:30. The grand jury warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims. You must appear for your court date. If you fail to comply with your release conditions or appear for your court date, any bond that you post would be forfeited. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of this evening. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Medina, will you please come into the courtroom? And Ms. Abigail Corubias, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Xavier Medina, 8/10/2006.
You are here on a new case. You were charged with one count of criminal trespass into a residential structure, a Class 6 felony, and 3 counts of disorderly conduct involving fighting, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all of the counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 24th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, initiate any contact with the alleged victims, nor can you possess any weapons. If you violate the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates would result in the forfeiture of any bond that you post, a warrant issuing for your arrest, and additional bond being imposed. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of this evening. If you have any questions for me, if you will step to your left.
Yeah, I do. Is there like opportunities to like get on an angle, or that comes with the bond?
Now, I considered, there's multiple things that I considered. I also am aware that you are on hold. There's a hold on you from another court, too, so I needed to impose a bond to make sure that you get transported back and forth. Either way, within this case, what I did also was look at your criminal history. I did not think that it was appropriate to impose electronic monitoring at this time. I thought that a bond would be more appropriate, taking into consideration all the history that I am aware of at this time.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Ms. Carrillos, if you'll please come to the courtroom, and Mr. Lett, if you will please have a seat in the chair. So, ma'am, can you please state your first last name and your date of birth?
Abigail Marie Cortez, August 31st, 2001.
You are here today because 2 warrants were issued when you failed to appear for your court dates. Attorneys were already appointed to represent you in both of these matters. You will have a non-witness violation hearing, possible disposition on April 23rd at 8:30. Each of those warrants had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. Your total secured appearance bond will be $500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure you appear for your court dates. If you fail to appear for your court dates, any bond you post will be forfeited. A warrant will issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of this evening. If you will step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lett, will you please come to the courtroom? And Mr. Burns, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Will you please state your first last name and your date of birth?
First name, last name, Deoda Select, date of birth, 8/16/84.
You are here today because you have 1 new case, and then you have a probation violation. So I am going to talk to you first about your new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of a narcotic drug, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable causes to all of the counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 24th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500 in this matter. And then as to your violation of probation, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter as well. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 23rd at 8:30. That warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $750. So between your 2 cases, you have a total secured appearance bond of $1,250. If you are able to post bond, you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Make sure that you appear for your court dates. And if you fail to do and comply with your release conditions, if you fail to do those things, any warrant could issue for your arrest. Any bond that you posted would be forfeited, and additional bond could be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this evening. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to your left, officer.
Is there any chance I could get like a monitor or something?
Well, I can't do any. So your probation violation, that's a warrant that was issued by the judge that's over that case. That is the warrant and bond that the warrant he or she issued and the bond that they set. And when I reviewed your case, and I was looking at when you were placed on probation, it appears that for me, and I looked at the notes too, and it just looked like things were not going well. So I believe that a bond was appropriate to ensure that you come into court, that you come to your court dates, that you will get in contact with your probation officer, because that's part of the issue that was happening here, was just general non-compliance.
I mean, not to cut you off, I didn't have no problem getting in contact with it. It's just there was no communication.
Well, what I'm looking at, just based on the notes, is that there's been like,
I mean, I'm the one that's dealing with the person, but okay.
Okay, so that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of. So if you will please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Burns, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Crawford, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Bo Burns, 11/29/83.
You are here today because you have 3 warrants for failing to appear for your court dates. An attorney was already appointed to represent you in all 3 matters. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 23rd at 8:30 in all 3 matters. Each warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. So your total bond between the 2 cases is $750. If you are able to post bond, you do need to comply with the release conditions as well as appear for your court date. If you fail to do those things, any bond that you post will be forfeited, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of today. If you have no questions for me.
I thought my the bond was $250.
Yes, but you have 3 cases.
Oh.
It's $250 per case.
Oh.
So the total is $750.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Crawford, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Grubbs, if you will have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Dan Crawford, 12/27/1980.
Thank you. You are here today because you have a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on April 23rd at 8:30. The probation violation warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. If you're able to post bond, it's important that you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear, that would result in the forfeiture of any bond you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I have to advise you of this evening.
All I would say is I was in a psych hospital for a week. That's why my probation officer couldn't find me. And I tried to get a hold of her from a psych hospital. I couldn't get a hold of her from there. So that's all I want to let you know.
Okay, well, thank you for letting me know. This is not my orders. This is another judge's. I'm just telling you what that judge ordered.
All right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Grubbs, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Vicente, will you please have a seat in the chair? Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Tyrell Grubbs, 8691.
You are here on multiple matters. You have a warrant out of White Tank Justice Court. You have a warrant for failing to appear for court dates. Let's say you have 2 warrants for failing to appear for court dates, and then you have a new case. So I'm going to start with the new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I did find probable causes to all 3 counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on April 24th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. Then, as to your 2 warrants for failing to appear, an attorney was appointed to represent you in those matters already. Each of those warrants had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500 per case. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing at 8:30. And then as to your warrant out of White Tank Justice Court, I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have an arraignment hearing on April 21st at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50. It's really just a placeholder bond, just to make sure that you get transported to that hearing, since if you are not able to post bond in the matters that you have here. So in total, between all three of your cases, you have a total of $1,550 in secured appearance bond. Please make sure that you comply with your release conditions, that you appear for your court dates if you are able to post bond. If you fail to do that, it would result in a forfeiture of your bond, a warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this evening. If you will step to your left, the officers will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Vicente, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Ms. Casas, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jacob Vicente, and October 8, 1998.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. I am going to release you on your own recognizance today, but you do have to promise to appear for those court dates. Do you promise to appear?
Yes.
If you fail to appear for those court dates, a warrant will issue for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that takes care of everything that we need to talk about. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Ms. Casas, if you will please come into the courtroom. Hello, can you please get your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yes, Mercy Zoe Casas, January 3rd, 1993.
You are here on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of assault or fear of physical injury, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause to that offense. Due to the nature of the charge, you are not entitled to court-appointed counsel. I did review a victim impact statement prior to coming into court today, and taking into consideration those things, I'm ordering the following. First, you will have an arraignment hearing on May 6th at 2 o'clock. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Absolutely.
You have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment that are issued, you must comply with those orders. If you violate the no victim contact order, in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Failure to comply with all of these orders or failing to appear for your court date will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest, and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand all these things?
I do, ma'am. Thank you.
I really hope that you do, because I'm letting you know I did read the probable cause statement of what happened, and it was very concerning to me. And, you really do have to not have any contact.
No, I understand. I have a condition. Thank you.
So if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
At azcourtcareers.com.
Is the interpreter able to hear the court?
Yes, good evening. This is Johanna. I'm your interpreter here.
Thank you. Ms. Cortez, will you please come into the courtroom?
Señor Cortés, por favor, ¿podría entrar en la sala de la corte?
Ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Estefanía Ríos Cortés. Agosto.
Do you need an interpreter or no?
No. Yeah. El Julio de los...
Well, no, I'm not done. Because you're answering my questions, so you understand me.
Okay.
So do you need an interpreter?
I understand a little bit, not all of it. That's why I need an interpreter.
So
The interpreter has disconnected. To reconnect with your interpreter, press or say 1. To connect with a new interpreter, press or say 2. To select a different language, press or...
Thank you.
Hi, would you be able to assist with a few Spanish legal matters? Wonderful. I'll connect you now. The commissioner will address you in one moment. Thank you.
Savannah and Maricopa County. Where are you?
Is the interpreter able to hear the court?
This is the interpreter. Yes, I can hear you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Por favor, denos su nombre y apellido y su fecha de nacimiento.
Estefanía Cortés, el 8 de julio del 2002.
Estefania Cortez, July 8th, 2002.
You are here today on a new case.
Usted está compareciendo, este es un caso nuevo.
You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug.
9 counts. Sorry, Your Honor, I couldn't hear you.
1 count of possession of dangerous drug.
Se le está inculpando con un cargo de tenencia de una droga peligrosa.
A class 4 felony.
Es un delito de la clase 4.
And 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia.
Y también un cargo de tenencia de parafernalia para el uso de droga.
A class 6 felony.
Este es un delito de la clase 6.
I did find probable causes to both counts.
He encontrado causa probable con respecto a ambos cargos.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you.
He asignado un abogado para que la represente.
You will have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30.
El día 1 de mayo a las 8:30 usted va a tener una audiencia de conferencia de estatus.
And then you will have a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30.
Después le va a seguir una audiencia preliminar el día 5 de mayo a las 8:30.
I'm going to release you on your own recognizance today.
Pienso ponerle en libertad bajo su propia palabra.
But you do have to promise to appear for your court date.
Pero usted tiene que prometer que va a comparecer en las fechas que tiene en el juzgado.
Do you promise to appear for your court date?
Usted está prometiendo comparecer para las fechas que tiene programadas en el juzgado.
Sí, prometo ir.
Yes, I promise here.
If you fail to appear for your court date,
si usted incumple con comparecer en la fecha que tiene programada en el juzgado,
a warrant will issue for your arrest.
Se va a emitir una orden de arresto.
And a bond will be imposed.
Y se le va a imponer una fianza.
Do you understand?
¿Usted me comprende?
Sí.
This concludes my advisement to you.
Con esto concluye la asesoría que quiero darle.
If you step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Sí, acérquese hacia su izquierda, el oficial le va a entregar su documentación.
Ok, gracias.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Macario Hernandez, if you will please come into the courtroom.
Por favor, señor Macario Hernández, acérquese al juzgado.
Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Por favor, ¿me puede dar su fecha, su nombre y apellido y su fecha de nacimiento?
Macario Jiménez, enero 2, 1988.
Macario Jiménez, January 2nd, 1988.
You are here today on a new case.
Usted está presente aquí por un caso nuevo.
You were charged with one count of possession of a narcotic drug.
A usted se le está inculpando con un cargo de tenencia de un narcótico, una droga.
No. A class 4 felony.
Un delito de la clase 4.
No. Además, está hablando de un problema en las cortes que no me han respondido Glendale ni Finis.
¿Perdón?
Varios casos que he tenido que no me... Uno para empezar que me dejé golpear como perro, pues, y teniendo cámaras, la policía de 3 años que no hizo nada. Nadie dijo nada.
Okay, un momentito, señor, por favor. I can barely understand what he is saying. I've had problems, unsolved problems in Glendale. I was beaten up like a dog. There were cameras. That was 3 years ago, and nothing did anything about it.
Well, that's not what we're here for today.
Ese no es el motivo por el que estamos aquí.
Okay. No está bien.
I would also ask that you just not interrupt.
Okay.
También voy a pedir que por favor no interrumpa.
Okay.
I have to change the order. Okay. You were also charged with one count of abuse of a venerated object to a flag.
Usted también está siendo acusado con abuso de un objeto venerado, una bandera.
Okay,
No.
It still didn't save my... I'll be with you in just a second. I'm so sorry, this is not...
Un momentito, por favor.
Sure.
Okay, does it show that I'm... And I noticed that it's covered. So, is it showing on your side? Yes, it is. Okay. I did not find probable cause as to the possession of a narcotic drug.
You did not, right?
I did not.
No.
No he encontrado causa probable con respecto a la tenencia de un narcótico peligroso.
No.
Okay, this still didn't, it's still, sorry, it's not saving my changes. Yeah, it's because it's not supposed to be that.
Okay, now it's returning.
Okay. All right. I did find probable cause as to the abuse of an venerated object.
Lo que sí he encontrado es causa probable para el abuso de un objeto venerado.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you.
He asignado a un abogado para que lo represente.
You do have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30.
El día 1 de mayo a las 8:30, usted tiene que comparecer en una audiencia de conferencia de estatus.
Sure. And you have, You have a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30.
Y tiene una audiencia preliminar el 5 de mayo a las 8:30.
Está bien.
I am going to release you to pretrial services.
Sí, lo voy a poner en manos de pretrial services.
You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime.
No quiero que evite regresar a la escena del supuesto delito.
Okay.
You cannot initiate any contact with the arresting officers.
Usted no puede tener ni iniciar ningún contacto con los oficiales que lo arrestaron.
Okay, no, está bien.
You must promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear for your court dates?
Usted tiene que prometer comparecer para las fechas programadas en el juzgado. ¿Promete usted comparecer para las fechas que tiene programadas en el juzgado?
Sí, lo prometo.
Failure to comply with your failure to comply with your release conditions.
Señor, si usted incumple con las condiciones que se le están imponiendo para ponerle en libertad,
or failure to appear for your court date,
o si incumple con comparecer en la fecha programada en corte,
will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest.
Resultaría en una orden de arresto.
And a bond will be imposed.
Se le impondría una fianza.
Okay, sí entiendo.
Do you understand?
¿Comprende?
Sí. Yes.
This concludes my advisement to you. If you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Señor, esto es todo lo que le tenía que decir. Acérquese hacia su izquierda. El oficial le va a entregar la documentación.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Alvarado Boyet, will you please come into the courtroom?
Señor Alvarado Boyet, por favor, acérquese a la sala del tribunal.
Sir, will you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jesús Alfredo.
Señor, por favor, diría su nombre y apellido.
Jesús Alfredo Alvarado, 1982.
Sí. Sí, fecha de nacimiento.
1982.
Es el año, la fecha.
Es 10/08/82.
Jesús Alfredo Alvarado, October 8th, 1982.
Yes.
You are here today on a new case.
Usted está presente el día de hoy en un caso nuevo.
You were charged with one count of possession of a narcotic drug.
Usted ha sido culpado con la tenencia de una droga narcótica.
A class 4 felony.
Un delito de la clase 4.
I did find probable cause as to that offense.
Con respecto a esa infracción, he encontrado causa probable.
I appointed an attorney to represent you.
He asignado un abogado para que lo represente.
You will have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30.
El día 1 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana va a haber una audiencia de conferencia de estatus.
You will have a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30.
Y el 5 de mayo a las 8:30 va a haber una audiencia preliminar.
I intend to release you to pretrial services.
Sí, señor, lo voy a poner en manos de pretrial services.
You do have to promise to appear for your court dates.
Usted tiene que prometer que va a venir, va a comparecer el día de las fechas programadas en el juzgado.
Do you promise to appear?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You asked for an interpreter, so you have to answer in Spanish.
Oh,
Si
I'm
usted
asking-
pide un intérprete, tiene que contestar en español. ¿Promete con presentarse, comparecer en las fechas programadas para usted en el juzgado?
Sí, lo prometo.
Yes, I promise.
Failure to appear for your court dates or to comply with your release conditions.
Si usted incumple con las condiciones que se le ha impuesto para ponerle en libertad, y si usted no se presenta, incumple con venir a las fechas programadas para usted,
Will result in the issuance of a warrant for your arrest.
Okay. Perfecto.
resultarían en una orden de arresto
And a bond will be imposed.
y se le impondría una fianza.
Do you understand?
¿Usted comprende?
Sí.
This completes my advisement to you.
Sí, señor, con esto concluyo lo que le tenía que advertir.
If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Acérquese hacia su izquierda, el oficial le va a entregar la documentación que le tienen que dar.
Ms. Garcia, will you please come into the courtroom?
Señorita Garciola, por favor, se puede acercar a la sala del juzgado.
Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Por favor, diga su nombre y apellido.
Es Dariana Gagiola, 17 de mayo del 2002.
Graciana. ¿Cuál es el nombre, perdón?
Dariana.
Dariana Gragiola, May 12, 1982. No, 2002, sorry.
Is it May 12th or May 17th?
Señora, ¿su fecha de nacimiento es el 17 de mayo o el 12 de mayo?
Es 17 de mayo.
May 17th.
You are here on a new case.
Usted está presente aquí por un caso nuevo.
You were charged with one count of possessing narcotic drugs for transporting or selling narcotic drugs.
Sí, a usted se le está inculpando con la tenencia de estupefacientes narcóticos para transportar o para vender el estupefaciente, el narcótico.
A Class 2 felony.
Es un delito de la clase 2.
I do find probable cause as to that charge.
He determinado que hay causa probable en referencia a ese cargo.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you.
Le he asignado un abogado para que la represente.
You will have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30.
El día 1 de mayo a las 8:30 usted va a tener que comparecer, o presentarse a una audiencia de conferencia de staff.
Okay.
And a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30.
La audiencia preliminar en la que tiene que presentarse se va a llevar a cabo el día 5 de mayo a las 8:30.
Okay.
You will be released to pretrial services.
Se le va a poner en manos de servicios de antes de juicio, pretrial services.
You must promise to appear for your court date.
Usted tiene que prometer que va a comparecer, va a venir el día que tenga la fecha programada en el juzgado.
Sí, lo prometo.
Do you promise to appear?
Sí, lo prometo.
Promete, yes, I promise.
Failure to comply with your release conditions.
Si usted incumple con ceñirse a las condiciones para ponerle en libertad,
Or failure to appear for your court date.
O si incumple con presentarse a las fechas programadas en el juzgado,
Will result in the issuance of a warrant for your arrest.
va a resultar en la emisión de una orden para su arresto.
And a bond would be imposed.
Y se le impondría una fianza.
Okay. Do you understand?
¿Me comprende?
Sí.
Is the interpreter still there?
Sure. Sorry, Your Honor, you couldn't hear me. I said yes. Sorry.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
This completes my advisement to you.
Con esto concluye la amonestación que le tenía que dar.
If you will step to the left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Si se acerca a su izquierda, el oficial le va a entregar la documentación suya.
Gracias.
Madam Interpreter, this concludes all our interpreter matters, so you may be excused. Thank you so much for your assistance this evening.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for using our services. Bye-bye.
Right. This concludes the 8 p.m. initial appearance calendar. We stand in recess until 11 p.m.
All right. Let's get ready for another Collect Call exclusive, if you will. Let's get let me see. Let me fix this screen up here like so. The audio keeps on going in and out for the court. See, we gotta make sure we can see these individuals' feet, what kind of shoes they wearing. You know, can't be having them. That's wild. What's up? Damn, they have night court. Hell yeah, I was tripping too. Imagine going to court at 2 a.m. Eastern. Night court. What up, Cake Belly? What's up, Christy? All right. Hopefully I got everybody that's tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Hey, what up? What up, Tonka? How's it going? Buenas noches or buenas nachos. All right. Let's see right now. How's everything been today? Hey, how many of you guys cut? I'll be cutting them sheeps. Hey, who caught that parole board hearing today from Kentucky? That one vato that fool was in the bed. He was all just tirado on the cama like a fish out of water. Pulling an all-nighter watching weirdos with you. I was about to crash out. Damn, that was a trippy one. That was one trippy stream today. They brought that fool out in the bed. That fool, he don't have that much longer. All right. I was there earlier. Yup, that's right, Ashley. Yup, that's the exact same one I'm talking about right now. That individual. It was all bad.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Who do we got tonight? He was in a bed. I missed that one. Man, yeah, Kay, it was crazy. He won't last. Yeah, he don't got that much time, but we'll hopefully we'll speed up that process, if you will. Get him to his maker, if you will. What up, Kay? How's it going? Hey, what up,
Good evening.
Tonka?
This is the time set for the 11 p.m. calendar on April 16th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints given on the first calendar of this month
shall apply to all matters on this calendar. I'll call you each one at a time to the podium, and I'll provide a second name to sit in the chair outside of this room. If we can have Mr. Tejada to the podium and Mr. Harrison to the chair.
Hey, straight up, Sancho, the last two vatos, they were straight up basura. Straight up trash. Get the wood chipper ready, cause in the pigs, the hogs, to handle that business. All right, let's see.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Joseph Angel Tejeda, 9795.
Thank you, sir, and I apologize for mispronouncing your name just a moment ago.
That's fine.
It does look like we have two cases on the calendar here this evening. It does look like we have a probation violation warrant that was issued for you. Looks like they've alleged you violated terms 6 and 7 of your probation. I'll appoint counsel and set a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30, and in this case you have a $250 bond. On the second case, it does look like you're here on a warrant that was issued based on a direct complaint for an offense date of March 22nd, 2021 for one count of possession or use of dangerous drugs, a class 4 felony. It looks like in the file that they filed a writ of habeas corpus and you were picked up from a federal institution in Tucson. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So because you currently have a hold with the federal institution on this case, you will be held non-bondable because you can't be released on that. I will appoint an attorney, though, and set a status conference April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30. Although you have a bond on the other case because you weren't picked up on a writ on that case, I wouldn't recommend posting it at this time because you're still going to be held non-bondable on the direct complaint and, of course, on the hold from the Tucson prison. All of this information will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, sir?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Just up to your left, I'll give you your paperwork.
I was about to say that he looks like he just came out the feds or
Mr.
some
Harrison
type of
to the
location
podium and Mr. Cook to the chair.
because of the white T-shirt and the sweatpants, and he has that hard ass look. That fool was strolling up there like, man, what's up? Well, what you gonna tell me? Can't tell me nada. I'm already
Good
locked
evening,
up.
sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Cody Harrison, August 16th, 1989.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here out of a county warrant from Pinal County Superior Court. They've indicated that you violated probation. Are you being held on anything else right now?
Yes.
Okay. They are holding you non-bondable on this case. They've indicated that they will extradite you to Pinal for this probation violation. I'll appoint counsel and set an arraignment hearing in Pinal County on April 21st at 8:30. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? Okay, just up to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, sir. Thank you. Mr. Cook to the podium and Mr. Baker to the chair.
From what I hear, the feds used to be lush back in the days, but they cut back on a lot of stuff. It's not nice. It's not so nice anymore. But like I said,
Could I get your name and date of birth?
I've never been to prison.
7/29/1967.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we have two cases on the calendar. The first one is a failure to appear warrant that was issued for you related to some drug charges in early 2025. Okay. I'll affirm the attorney that was previously appointed to represent you and set a status conference April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $250. You have a second case on the calendar. That's a new Superior Court case.
Yeah.
And that's for one count of narcotic drug possession, a class 4 felony. I'm going to appoint counsel in this case as well. You'll have the same status conference and preliminary hearing date on the case we just talked about, plus your new charges. But in this case, you'll also have an evidentiary hearing, April 23rd at 1:30. Because you were out on felony release on the other case at the time you were picked up for this offense, you'll be held non-bondable on your new charges. And the hearing set for April 23rd at 1:30 is the time set to determine if bond will be set on your new charges. So I don't recommend posting the bond on that first case we talked about because you're going to be held non-bondable on your new charges.
Okay.
Do you have a question?
Yes, Your Honor. I tried to get that warrant squashed. Okay. And on April the 7th, I went in, I had that squashed, and nothing was never done. Yeah. So I ended up getting a warrant for something that I tried to already take care of. And end up in here with a new charge is something that I was trying to do something good instead of doing something bad.
Yeah,
And
it be like that sometimes.
now it's like, the more as I try to do something good, it's like.
So I do see that you filed a motion to quash your warrant. However, the court had not ruled on it. They had not granted that request.
Why?
They may just not have reviewed it yet. They still have time to make a ruling on that. The time hasn't expired since the date you filed. But the concern here is today is now that you have new charges, it's not within my discretion to not hold you non-bondable. So you are non-bondable on the new charges. So you're going to remain in custody until at least April 23rd at 1:30 on your new charges. And then you'll still have the hearings for the other case as well while you're here.
Now, since you are, Ms. Lindsay, Huckabee, I want to ask you, on the mercy of your court, because I can lose my job, I can lose a lot of things.
Oh, you're about to lose him.
Make it where I can be able to get out and be able to still be a good citizen.
And that's what I was trying to explain. It's not within my ability to do that. The law requires you to be held non-bondable when you're out on felony release and picked up for a new offense. So it's not, I don't have the authority to release you on your new charges. And so that's why you will be held here until at least April 23rd.
April 23rd, and today's the 16th.
Today is the 16th, so it's a week from today is your evidentiary hearing.
What up?
You'll meet with your attorney April 22nd, the day before. The following day is the hearing when your attorney will present evidence to determine or to ask the court to set bond on this case.
Okay.
Okay, sir?
Nothing I can do about that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Baker to the podium.
Hey, thank you, Hogan.
And Mark
What?
to the chair.
Damn. What up with that 355?
Good evening. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Jordan Baker, July 20th, 96.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we are here today on a new Superior Court case, and it does include 2 counts of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $50,000. If you post bond, you have written conditions of release. It will include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, and you may not possess any weapons. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
Every day I'm shuffling.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork.
Every day he's
I have
hustling.
Mark to the podium and John Cruz to the chair.
Shuffle his way all the way to
Good
his
evening, sir.
cell.
Can I get your name and date of birth?
Mark Aronoff, 5/1/1990.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you're here on a
What up,
Aquatic
20
County warrant
minutes,
coming from Yavapai County Superior Court with indications that you violated probation in Yavapai County. I will appoint an attorney to represent you and set an arraignment hearing in Yavapai on April 21st at 8:30. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $25,000. If you post bond, you have written conditions of release that will include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours, and then you'll need to ensure you attend that hearing to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of any bond you post. If you don't post bond and you remain in custody, they will extradite you to Yavapai County for your hearing. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, just step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. John Cruz to the podium and Carla Morales to the chair.
Next! Up next on The Price is Wrong. What do you guys think we're going to be having up next? DUI? DV? Shoplifting at Circle K?
Good evening. Can I get your name and date of birth?
John Cruz, 8/17/72.
What up,
Thank
Kentucky?
you,
Where
sir.
you
It does
been?
look like we are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 2 counts of dangerous drug possession for sale,
Oh, you got
1
that,
count
Chrissy.
of narcotic drug possession for sale, 1 count of narcotic drug possession for use. All of those charges are Class 4 felonies. 1 count of marijuana possession for sale, a Class 5 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession for use, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference April 22nd at 8:30, and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30. You have a cash appearance bond of $25,000. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you need to comply with. You'll need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of that bond. All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No. I do.
If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, sir.
Does he have like a perm going
Carla
on?
Morales to the podium, and Mr. Din to the chair.
Damn, he got the big worm special, if you will. What up, Kramer?
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
It's Carla Morales, July 13th, 1984.
Thank you. And do we have counsel on the line for Miss Morales?
Yes, Your Honor. Good evening. Oscar Castaneda I was privately retained by Ms. Morales' family to represent her this evening, and I'm appearing via Teams.
Teams, yep.
Thank you, sir. Do we have the state on the line?
Yes, Your Honor. Ashley Stetson on behalf of the state.
Thank you. It does look like we are here today on a new Superior Court case, and it does include one count of aggravated assault with a dangerous instrument, a Class 4 felony.
Ooh.
Mr. Castaneda, since you entered your appearance only for a limited notice of appearance, I intend to appoint counsel for future hearings at this time. Does that sound okay to you, sir?
That's okay, Your Honor.
Ashley
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I'm going to discuss probable cause next. So, counsel, did you want to discuss probable cause, release conditions, or both?
Release conditions, Your Honor.
Thank you. The court is going to find probable cause, and I'm going to set a couple hearings in the downtown Superior Courthouse on Madison Street. You're going to have a status conference April 22nd at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30 a.m. Next, we're going to discuss release conditions. Ms. Stetson, do you want to put the state's recommendation on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting bond be set in the amount of $25,000 secured. Your Honor, based on the allegations, based on the fact that it's alleged that the suspect caused injury, while the information that the state could find, the injury wasn't substantial. However, there does appear to be an injury that occurred that was allegedly committed by the suspect, Your Honor, with a knife. The state does believe that some bond is appropriate. Additionally, Your Honor, the state saw that the suspect also has pending charges in Scottsdale for DUI, which is not a felony. However, Your Honor, the state did notice that in the Form 4, there was allegations that the suspect and the victim were at a bar prior to this incident occurring. The state has concerns that there could potentially be alcohol involved with this again. But basically, Your Honor, the state is asking for $25,000 secured. Conditions of release are that the suspect not have any contact, indirect or direct, with the alleged victim, no contact, indirect or indirect, with any witnesses. That includes law enforcement, no alcohol or illegal substances, no firearms or any weapons, and any other conditions that Your Honor sees. Oh, and Your Honor, not returning to the scene of the incident. Any other conditions that Your Honor sees is appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stetson. And Mr. Castaneda, would you like to put your request on the record?
I would, Your Honor. Thank you. I'd point out the fact that Ms. Morales is a mother of 4, ages 19, 17, 16, and 9.
Damn.
She is employed at Wells Fargo Bank as a customer service loan specialist and has been for 4 years.
Not anymore.
She's a college graduate. She's a member of the St. Andrew's Catholic Church. I've been in contact with her family, who have indicated to me that the alleged victim in this case has provided a statement indicating that he does not want her to remain in custody pending trial. While there is no attempt to downplay the facts of this case or the fact that there is a pending DUI charge, I would submit to the court that if allowed on supervised release, the court can set conditions such as alcohol monitoring in order to ensure that something alcohol related doesn't occur while the case is going on. And so for these reasons, Your Honor, and the fact that she has no prior convictions and certainly no prior violent convictions, we feel that a supervised release with alcohol monitoring is appropriate in this matter.
Hey, she got 2 out of the 3.
Counsel.
She's only missing the shoplifting from
I do
Circle
have
K.
15 factors I have to consider when I am setting bond. And in this case, there are serious allegations here, and the results could have been a lot worse than they were at this time.
Maybe next week.
I do acknowledge that you do not have a very lengthy criminal record, and I did take that into consideration along with the nature of the offense, as well as your ties to the community. And
Thank you,
so
Kimberly.
I am setting a bond smaller than I normally would with these types of allegations. However, it is still going to be a secured appearance bond of $25,000 in this case. Because it is a secured appearance bond, that does mean you can use a bail bonding company, and that's typically going to be 10% plus collateral. I am not equipping you with electronic monitoring as requested by the state.
Thank you.
But I am ordering that you not return to the scene of the alleged crime. You do not have any contact with the alleged victim, complainant, or witnesses. If you do reside with the alleged victim, you cannot return to that location. However, I understand that you may have personal belongings you may need to collect from there, so you can contact law enforcement for one civil standby in order to do that. But again, do not return to that location without the police. It could result in additional charges against you, okay? And you are not to possess any weapons at this time.
Can't even get a burger for that price.
Did anybody have any questions?
Hell yeah.
Not on behalf of defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, Your Honor, the state doesn't.
Thank you. And Ms. Morales, did you?
No, I love my family. I love my kids.
Thank you, ma'am.
I miss my daughter and all my kids.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much,
If you'll
Your
step
Honor.
to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, okay?
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Drop one,
Thank you,
flush
ma'am.
one.
And Ms. Stetson and Mr. Castaneda, feel free to disconnect at your convenience. I appreciate your appearance here this evening.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good rest of your evening.
And just like that, you could throw your whole life away.
Mr. Din to the podium and Mr. Gonzalez to the chair.
Up next on The Price is Wrong. So she just got arrested, yeah. She just got picked up. Damn, imagine when her coworkers find out about this video. Or they're on the stream maybe. It's going to be all bad. Damn, everybody's going to be talking about her around the office, around the water cooler. Damn, hey, did you see? She got a DUI and she got a DV. Hey, James said the only thing she was missing was the shoplifting from Circle K. Damn it, eh? Woo!
Good evening, sir. Could I get
She
your
gave me
name
the
and
talk
date
of
of
the
birth?
office for sure.
Sending Echoing VIA, February 31st, 1968.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new Superior Court case.
Damn, James, you ain't
It
right,
does
James.
include
You
one
ain't
count
right.
of stalking, a Class 5 felony, one count of harassment by communication, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and one count of criminal damage, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing counsel to represent you. I'm setting a status conference April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30.
America.
You have a secured appearance bond of $20,000.
Whoa.
If you post that bond, you're going to be released to pretrial services and equipped with electronic monitoring. You'll also have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, and you may not possess any weapons. All of this information will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No.
No questions?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, did anybody
Mr.
catch?
Gonzalez to the podium and Mr. Anderson to the chair.
Did any of you guys catch the 5 a.m. stream from this morning where Ashley showed up in person? She was in the
Good
background.
evening. Can I get your name and date of birth?
David Anthony Gonzalez, October 29, 2005.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include one count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, a Class 5 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30. I'm setting a secured appearance bond of $5,000. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you need to comply with. You'll need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of this bond. Do you have any questions?
Will I be bonded tonight?
That's whether or not you contact a bail bonding company and sign a contract with them for them to post that bond.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Anderson to the podium, and Mr. Lopez to the chair.
Anderson. What movie is that from? Next on The Price is Wrong. What do you guys think, Mr.
Good evening. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Jonathan Anderson, 3/31/1982.
Thank you, sir. Do you have a hold by the Department of Corrections?
I came from the Department of Corrections, yes.
Okay, and do you still have time left there?
Yes.
Okay. It looks like you're here on a grand jury warrant that was issued. It looks like it's for an offense date of January 20th, 2023, and it includes one count of taking identity of another, a Class 4 felony, one count of theft of a credit card, a Class 5 felony, and one count of fraudulent use of a credit card, a Class 6 felony. I'm going to appoint an attorney and set an arraignment hearing April 23rd at 8:30 in the morning. You have a secured appearance bond of $2,500. However, if you have a hold by the Department of Corrections, you might not want to post it at this time because you won't actually be released from custody. You'll just be sent back to the Department of Corrections. So you might want to talk to your attorney when you meet with them on April 23rd about this case before posting that. But if you do post it, you have written conditions of release if you happen to post it and finish your time at the Department of Corrections.
Okay.
Any questions?
No. I questions for my attorney. That's it. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Just up to your left, I'll give you your paperwork.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Lopez to the podium and Mr. Dean Rivera to the chair.
Hey, Farah, thank you for the follow. Highly appreciate that. Or should I say Farah? OMG.
Do we have Juan Lopez?
Junior, thank you for that follow. Highly appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
What up, Lauren? Lauren Romero.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Juan Jose Gonzalez Lopez, December 1996.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on 3 probation violation warrants with allegations you violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 15.
Not 15
I'll appoint an
again.
attorney to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30 in the morning. You have a secured appearance bond of $1,500 on one case, $500 on the second, and $100 on the third. So it's a total of $2,100 between your 3 cases. If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with. It does include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. You'll need to ensure you attend that hearing to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of that bond. The hearing on April 23rd at 8:30 applies to all 3 cases. Do you have any questions? Okay, if you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork, sir.
Hey, you know what? It nowadays
Dean Rivera to the podium.
it sucks when because all this stuff is
Tammy
public
Missouri
now.
to the chair.
It's like, man, like they stream it, you can't escape it. The internet's forever. It's all bad, man. I'm glad when I was out there, they didn't have none of this live streaming stuff. Embarrassing.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Brian Michael Dean Rivera,
And your date of birth?
1984.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3, 5, and 7. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $2,500 in this case.
Damn, Joe.
If you post bond, you have written conditions of release to include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours.
I was on a
You'll need
good
to
one.
ensure you attend that hearing to avoid a failure to appear warrant and forfeiture of any bond that you may post. All of this
Maricopa.
information will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Tammy Missouri to the podium and Lisa Martinez to the chair.
The audio and the video are out of sync, if you will, but that's not me. That's the court. So I can't take credit for that. You're going to have to give that up to Maricopa County Superior
Good evening.
Court,
Could I get your
if you
name and
will.
date of birth?
Yes, Tammy, Missouri, January 20th, 1979.
Thank you, ma'am. It does look like we are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include one count of theft means of transportation, a Class 3 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. You'll have a status
Maricopa.
conference April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30. I'm setting a secured appearance bond of $2,500. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release that will include not returning to the scene of any alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. All of that will be in your paperwork. You'll also need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of any bond that you may post. All of that will be in your paperwork, ma'am. Did you have any questions?
Yes, is the 2,500 10% or the cash only?
It is secured, meaning you can use a bail bonding company, which is typically 10% plus collateral. Okay? Anything else? Okay, if you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paper.
No Carfax,
ma'am.
James Fax. Let's.
Lisa
Hey, thank you,
Martinez to
Brendan.
the podium and
that
Richard Jariah to the chair.
That had me laughing yesterday, man. I was showing it to my wife. I was like, look at what this guy put on here. This is hilarious. Hey, so for Canada,
Good evening.
no.
Can I get your name and date of birth?
No access to
Martinez,
Canada.
10/26/78. Thank you, ma'am. It does look like you're here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 6, 7, and 21.
Oh.
I'll appoint counsel and set a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $1,500. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release to include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of that will be in your paperwork, and then you'll need to ensure that you attend that hearing to avoid a failure to appear warrant and forfeiture of that bond. Did you have any questions?
I do. When I actually turned myself in today to the probation department. The reason I did that is because my son was injured last week. He's on life support right now.
Damn.
He's 20 years old, and my understanding was I was going to go to the probation and get a new hearing. I sent a new hearing to address this issue because I don't want the warrant over my head right now. I need to be at the hospital with my son. He's on a breathing tube. A lot of brain injury to his head. I guess I'm throwing myself at the court right now. $1,500 is a lot right now. I have 2 young girls that I take care of at home right now. It's a lot for my family to take in. It's me and then my 7 kids. So to post a bond right now is going to be very difficult, and I will definitely be at my next court if you can. And look also that, I did turn myself in to fix this matter because I need to get it taken care of. And I will, if I can get released on my own recognizance, I will definitely be here at my next court hearing, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that I don't return.
Thank you for that.
Because I don't know what my son, I don't know the outcome of his life right now. And to be in here, I don't know.
When did the incident with your son happen?
It occurred last Sunday. He was riding his dirt bike. I don't know if the car ran a stop sign, but he ran into the back of it. A lot of brain injury. His body is beat up to heck. When I was at the hospital yesterday, I signed the papers to go ahead and take the breathing tube out, put like a little bit more permanent one in. But right now they're saying he's got less than 10% chance of surviving.
And have you relayed any of this information to your probation officer?
Yes, I did. And it was supposed to be in the notes.
Okay. I'm going to have you sit out there while I take a look at the notes because they provided the probation notes. I just need to go through those, but I'm going to keep the calendar moving, and then I'll call you back up here once I've had a better opportunity to review
Thank you so much.
I believe her.
Richard Jariah to the podium and Randy Torres Flores to the chair.
But if you know people that do substances, sometimes they make stories up. So, but I'll go ahead and give her the benefit of the doubt.
Richard Anton
Say I
Juria,
believe her.
6/17/1950.
Thank you, sir, and I apologize for mispronouncing your name.
That happens all the time.
I bet. I apologize. It does look like we're here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated term 15 of your probation. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $1,000. If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release to include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. You'll also need to ensure you attend that hearing to avoid a failure to appear warrant and forfeiture of that bond. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. If you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Torres Flores to the podium and Mr. Register to the chair.
Damn, James, why are you laughing so much, man? Okay, help it. That's how I deal with real life, is just laughing.
Randy Fabian Torres Flores, August 30th, 96.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we have 2 cases on the calendar. The first one is a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 3 misdemeanor. For purposes of this hearing only, I am only finding probable cause as to the criminal
Close your mouth, dude.
I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you and set a status conference April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $50 in this case. But you also have a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3 and 5. I'll appoint an attorney and set a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30. And you have a secured appearance bond of $500 in that case. So between the two cases, it's $550. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of this information will be in your paperwork along with the date, time, and location of your hearings. You'll need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid any failure to appear warrants and forfeiture of that bond. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, just up to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. It's coming up. Mr. Register to the podium and Mr. Reed to the chair.
This is crazy. That boy's drooling.
Good evening, can I get your name and date of birth?
Daniel Lee Register, January 11th, 2001.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a failure to appear bench warrant related to some drug charges and a criminal trespass offense. I will affirm the attorney that was previously appointed to represent you and set a status conference April 22nd
Damn
at
it,
8:30.
we got Opie up in here.
In this case, you have a
look at
secured
this
appearance
vato.
bond of $500. If that bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you need to comply with, and you'll need to ensure you attend that hearing to avoid a future failure to appear warrant and forfeiture of that bond. Did you have any questions?
I did. I would like, what, in the, can't think of the word right now, but one of the requirements to be, if I am released, also it'd be to treatment facility, like inpatient, and possibly to be I want to look into maybe possibly intensive probation, like to get, because my last court date was over 2 years ago, and I came in here and didn't even get to go to court. The attorney saw me and said, "Hey, sign this piece of paper. Here's some things you have to do, drug counseling," and right back on the streets. And I just went right back. I need treatment.
So unfortunately, I cannot order treatment at this stage of your case. I'm trying to, let me look and see.
Hey, all I know is that guy, I will not trust him with bunny rabbits, puppies, or cats.
The only additional thing I can do if you need assistance with remembering to appear at your hearings and things of that nature, if you post the bond, I can release you to pretrial services, so that way you can communicate with them and they can kind of give you those reminders. But at this stage, I can't release you to treatment. You can talk to your attorney about that when you meet with them on April 22nd and express to them the concerns you have regarding going forward. But the most I could do today would be to release you to pretrial services, so you at least have somebody giving you those reminders to go to those hearings. Would that be helpful to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I will add the release of pretrial on here.
He's a user.
Everything you told me today, make sure you relay that to your attorney, because that may be something they can help you with going forward. Unfortunately, I just can't do that today, but they might be able to work with that on April 22nd.
Damn, we almost got 300 people
Any other
in here.
questions?
No.
Okay, if you'll take a seat out there, they'll reprint that paperwork for you.
Damn,
Thank
hey,
you, sir.
you guys are as sick as
Mr.
me
Reed
right here.
to the podium.
We got
And
issues.
Joseph Leyba to the chair.
We got serious issues, and we're gonna be catching a one-way trip to
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
if you will.
Travis James
I can't
Reed,
sleep.
February 24 to 89.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'll appoint an attorney and set a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $500. If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release that will include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. And then you'll need to ensure you attend that hearing to avoid a failure to appear warrant and forfeiture of any bond you post. Did you have any questions?
No.
All right, if you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork. Mr. Leyba to the podium.
Did he fall asleep?
And
We're
Mr.
just standing right
Stevenson
there.
to the chair.
He looked like Tego Calderon, all burnt out. Who knows who Tego El Abayarte, if you will. That boy sleep. Hey man, and that fool has sandals on. Come on now, how you gonna run away with sandals? Can't be running around. I don't understand it. You gotta stay suited and booted, ready to take off, if you
We
will.
have Joseph Leba.
He looked like a burnt out Kobe. Did you ever? We're on our way to HELL. If you will. You're trying to run with the chanclas rookie move, if you will. Hey, thank you for that, Shy City. Highly appreciate that daily heart.
Good evening, sir. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Joseph Leba, May 20th, 1982.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we have two cases on the calendar. The first one is a new Superior Court case for 1 count of dangerous drug possession and 1 count of narcotic drug possession, both Class 4 felonies. 1 count of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 3 misdemeanor.
Arizona.
Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference April 22nd at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing April 24th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in this case of $250. It looks like you also failed to appear at a previous hearing.
Blame it on me. He dropped his stash. 25. Did he? Is this fool out? It's like everybody's super tired. Like, what's
Let me
up?
just take a look at this 1 second, 1 moment.
I haven't slept for days or what? Probably. Does it show the judge?
It looks like
Not
you
right
had
now.
a drug paraphernalia possession charge from 2023, and then you were seen by this court on February 11th and released on your own recognizance, but then you failed to appear at some hearings. So I'll affirm the attorney appointed on that case, and it looks like it was you'll have a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30. And in that case, you also have a secured appearance bond of $250. So between the two cases, it's a total of $500. If that bond is posted, you have written conditions of release. You'll need to ensure you attend these hearings. You do have 3 hearings coming up 3 days in a row between the two cases. And if you fail to appear, you risk forfeiting the bond that you post on this case. Did you have any questions? Okay, just step to your left. They'll give you that paperwork, sir. Mr. Stevenson to the podium and Mr. Ivan to the chair.
Christina. Hey, so right now it's 11:39 right now. It's about to be
Good evening.
11:40.
Can I get your name and date of birth?
Yeah, Harrison William Stevenson. My date of birth is 02/25/1991.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations that you violated terms 4 and 7 of your probation. I'm going to appoint an attorney and set a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30 in the morning. I'm releasing you today on your own recognizance that you're promised to appear at that hearing. You need to make sure you contact your probation officer within 72 hours and then ensure you attend that hearing to avoid a failure to appear warrant and risk being held on bond next time.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you have any questions?
No, I don't know.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Thank you, sir. Mr. Ivan to the podium and Mr. Morris to the chair.
Damn, they definitely cleaned up the streets tonight, man. This court's been going on for 40 minutes so far. Sheesh.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Thomas Ivan, 5169.
Thank you for that daily heart.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we have 2 warrants here. Looks like they're both Justice Court warrants. The first one is an Encanto Justice Court warrant related to an offense in 2020 for for driving with a license
Hey,
that
what up,
was
Laura?
suspended,
19.
revoked, or canceled. And then you failed to appear at a hearing for that, which was
that's
set
right.
in February of 2024. It looks like the other warrant is similar, but it's out of the Hacienda Justice Court. It's a 2024 violation of driving with a license that was suspended and then failing to appear at a hearing in March of 2024. So it looks like it's the same charge, but 2 different offense dates and 2 different justice courts. You're not entitled to court-appointed counsel due to the nature of your charges, but you can hire one at your own expense if you would like to. For your Encanto Justice Court case, you'll have an arraignment hearing on May 1st at 1:30, and your Hacienda Justice Court, your hearing will be April 23rd at 9 a.m. So you'll have 2 hearings coming up at 2 different locations. Dates, times, locations will be in your paperwork. I am releasing you today on your own recognizance. That is your promise to appear at those hearings. Please make sure you read the written conditions of release and attend those hearings to avoid any future failure to appear warrants. Did you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, don't forget to...
Mr. Morris to the podium and Mr. Lee to the chair.
Don't forget to vote or participate in your local UK elections, if
Good
you
evening. Can I
will.
get your name and date of birth?
Michael Morris, 61288.
Are you on
Thank
2
you,
channels
sir.
right
It
now?
does look like you
Oh,
are
yeah,
here on a
yeah,
probation
yeah.
violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3 of your probation. I'll appoint an attorney and set a probation revocation hearing April 23rd at 8:30. I am releasing you today on your own recognizance at your promise to appear at that hearing. The written conditions of release you need to comply with that will include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. You'll need to ensure you attend that hearing to avoid a failure to appear warrant and being held on bond at the next hearing. Do you have any questions, sir?
Hey, they were definitely
Okay,
busy
just up to
today.
your left, I'll give you that paperwork.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lee to the podium, and if I can have Lisa Martinez to the chair.
Hey, don't forget to follow. It's free 99. It don't cost you a thing. Don't be a Mr. Krabby Patty. Don't be a Scrooge McDuck. Hey, thank
Good
you,
evening. Could I get
Marty
your name
G.
and date of birth?
Connor Lee, August 31st, 1994.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a direct complaint that was filed with an offense date of June 20th, 2024, and it does include one count of narcotic drug possession, one count of dangerous drug possession, those are both Class 4 felonies, and one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I'll appoint counsel to represent you and set a status conference May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing May 5th at 8:30. I'm releasing you today on your own recognizance at your promise to appear at those hearings. You have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with, and then you'll need to ensure you attend those hearings to avoid any failure to appear warrants and risk of being held on bond at the next hearing. Did you have any questions?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, if you'll step to your left, I'll give you that paperwork, sir.
Hey,
And
everybody.
if I could have Ms. Martinez to the podium.
Hey, they did
and
a.
Mr. Armenta Castro to the chair.
They definitely They definitely swept the streets up, man. They picked everybody up. They didn't
Can I
give
get your name
anybody
and
no
date of birth
breaks.
again?
Lisa Martinez, 102678.
Hey, thank you,
ma'am.
Allison, for that daily heart.
So I was just trying to read some of the notes
she's back.
while I was in here. So it does look like you contacted your probation officer 2 days ago, and you informed them of the situation with your son, and then you reported to your probation officer earlier today.
Correct.
And that's when you were taken into custody on the outstanding warrant. And did you update your probation officer? I know there was some concerns about where you were living, and you had indicated you didn't know the address. Did you ever get that address and update the probation officer with that?
Yes.
Okay, so he got the updated address?
Yes.
And are you living with your son, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
At his apartment right now.
Okay.
I'd rather not, Brendan. I'd rather not.
Okay, and so it looks like part of the allegations were for absconding, meaning you weren't complying with your probation officer. But as I said, it does look like you made contact April 14th. And if I were to release you today on your own recognizance, are you going to promise to appear at these hearings and promise to keep in contact with your probation officer?
Scout
Definitely. That's what my son would want. And I have to. To be taken away at this time is not, it's not okay.
And part of it's going to require you to contact your probation officer again within 72 hours
Yeah.
of release. Okay. All right, I'm going to change this to releasing you today on your promise to appear at that hearing on April 23rd at 8:30. If you miss that hearing, they will issue failure to appear warrant, and you'll likely be held on bond next time, okay?
Okay.
All right, if you'll take a seat out there, they'll bring you that paperwork.
Thank you so much.
And this is it. I mean, this is real life right
Good
here.
evening. Do we have an interpreter on the line?
Not the Timu interpreter. This is Arizona, Maricopa, Arizona.
Thank you,
If you
sir.
will.
Can I get Mr. Armenta Castro to the podium?
Hey, she's not too young. If she's hanging around with Methany will definitely do that to you. And that's why I got some good chompers.
Good evening, sir. Could I please get your name and date of birth?
These are real.
¿Me puede dar su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, señor?
Joel Armenta Castro, 11-22 del 60.
¿Qué? ¿Qué dijo?
Okay, I have Mr. Joel Armenta Castro, 11/22 of 1960.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we are here on a new Superior Court case.
Gracias, señor. Estamos aquí, ¿verdad, con la corte?
Sí.
Sí. Ey.
Es que lo que pasa es que yo tengo una bolsita de esa madre que...
¿Una bolsita? Saca la bolsita,
Ni sé
dígitos.
cómo se llama.
El puro party.
la traía en la cartera y...
He had a little bag of that little white
un
stuff, if
policía
you
me la
will.
encontró, ¿no?
He had
Ahorita en la tarde.
He was going to use it for this night.
Y por eso estoy aquí.
No party for him tonight. He's in jail.
Okay,
Pues,
what
ni modo.
happened is that the police officer found a little baggie of I don't know what it was in my wallet, which is why I'm here.
It does look like they've listed it as 1 count of dangerous drugs and 1 count of drug paraphernalia.
Some of that puro party, if you will.
Okay, señor, entonces la encontraron como, ¿verdad? Una cuenta de manejo bajo la influencia y otra cuenta de parafernele.
He had a pipa.
And for purposes of this hearing, I am not finding probable cause today.
Ok, señor, y para propósitos de no estoy buscando o no encontraré una causa probable hoy.
I'm still going to appoint an attorney to represent you.
Como quiera, pondré un abogado para que lo represente a usted.
And you'll have a status conference May 1st at 8:30.
Y haré una conferencia hoy a las 8:30 de la mañana, perdón.
And a preliminary hearing May 5th at 8:30.
Y luego otra corte, ¿verdad? El 5 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana.
Even though I'm
can't
not
stay up
finding
longer,
probable cause
Have a good
today,
one.
you still need to attend those hearings.
Have a good one, Savage Cookie.
Y aunque no voy a decir que es una causa probable, como quiera necesitas atender a esas fechas de la corte.
If you fail to appear at those hearings, a warrant could issue.
Y señor, entonces, si usted no se representa, ¿verdad? Va a haber una orden de arresto.
Did you have any questions, sir?
¿Tiene algunas preguntas, señor?
Pues si va a ser a las 8, me voy a quedar aquí, no traigo carro.
He's asking if he could stay there. You don't have a car right now.
Well, if it's at 8, then I'm just going to stay here. I don't have a vehicle.
Your
No,
hearing
pues.
is not set for a couple of weeks.
No, pues, va, compa.
Sí, señor, su día de corte no está hecho hasta en unas cuantas semanas.
And I'm not holding you on bond, so you will be processed and released in the next few hours.
Ok, y no pondré, ¿verdad?, un vínculo, so usted será procesado y lo dejarán ir en unas cuantas horas.
¿Cuándo? ¿O cómo? Si no me presento, dice. Pues,
This
si
was
me
on
voy
a
a
good
presentar en
one.
todo. Si va a ser ahora otra corte, pues me quedo aquí.
He said, yeah, well,
Hasta las 8, ¿no?
I'll just stay here till 8 a.m.
Okay, if the court date is today, then I would just stay here.
The court date is May 1st, which is a couple weeks away.
Su día de corte será el 1 de mayo, que es en unas cuantas semanas.
They should probably let him sober up before before they let him out. I'm just saying, I mean, I'm not a professional.
Pero no andaba bajo la influencia, ahorita me agarró, pero esa cosa me la dieron ayer. Yo casi no la uso.
They gave me the little baggie yesterday, but I really don't use it that much.
Me dieron esa pinche bolsita, no era casi nada.
They gave me that damn bag. And
pues me la encontró porque me vio con una pipa de un amigo mío que
he found the pipe.
Estaba arreglando la bicicleta.
He was fixing a bike.
Y me dijo que se la tuviera la pipa mientras que era arreglar la bicicleta y por eso.
Somebody told him to hold the pipe.
Ahí en la misión, pues como ahí anda todo el tiempo el policía ese.
But there's a lot of police
por
around there.
eso me vio con la pipa.
And that's how they caught him with
Pero
the
la
pipe.
pipa no era mía.
But the pipe wasn't his.
Y
But they caught him with the pipa, if you will.
Y pues
Where
no.
else? Hey, pues he's here now. He's in jail.
Pero voy a hacer lo que ustedes digan,
right
no
now.
quiero de ver nada.
It was my bike.
Right now, I'm not under the influence, and the little bag wasn't even mine. I was just holding it for a friend that was fixing a bike, but it was not mine. I'll just do whatever I'm told. That way I don't have to owe anything.
Okay, then just make sure you attend those hearings. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork.
The judge is like, what the hell?
Ok, señor, solo asegúrese de presentarse a la corte, ¿verdad? En esas fechas. Si usted pasa a la izquierda, le darán este papeleo.
Entonces ahorita que me den el papel ya no tengo nada que hacer aquí. Nada más venir a las cortes.
Once they gave me the paper, I could just leave already. There's nothing for me to do here now.
A la corte que dice que venga, pa.
And then I just got to come back to the court that you guys are telling me to come
so
back
once
to.
I receive that paperwork, I don't have anything to do here. Just as long as I present myself to those court dates.
The officers will process you out of custody, and then you'll be able to leave and attend that hearing on May 1st.
Sí, señor, entonces los oficiales, ¿verdad?, lo procesarán a usted para de custodia y solo usted tendrá que atender la corte el 1 de mayo.
Es todo. Venir a la corte. Entonces ahorita ya no hay nada que hacer.
There's nothing for me to do here now.
O sea,
so right now there's nothing else to do?
In other words.
No, sir. If you just step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork with the dates and times.
That fool don't want to go.
No, señor. Si pasa a la izquierda, le darán ese papeleo con la fecha y el horario.
Ah, bueno.
All right, then. Good.
Está bien. Gracias, pues.
Thank you. Will.
Okay, thank you so much.
Can I have Ronnie to the podium?
I'll go if I must. Adios. Where's the pipa at? And for those of you that don't know what pipa means, it's
Good evening.
pipe.
Could I get your name and date of birth?
The word of the day is going to be pipa. Say it after. Say it. Repeat it. Pipa.
¿Me puede dar su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento, por favor?
Ronnie Rafael Bielma Briceño, 24/03/1995.
Pipa. Pipa.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor. Is it okay if I can ask him to repeat his name one more time? I wasn't able to get the full name.
Of course. Thank you.
Señor, ¿me puede repetir su nombre, por favor?
Ronnie Rafael Bielma Briceño.
You got it wrong, big.
Okay, I have Mr. Ronnie Rafael Bielma Briceño, 03/24 of 95.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like you are here on a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued.
Okay, señor, muchas gracias. Y entonces, ¿usted está aquí por falta de comparencia ante la justicia?
I will affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you.
Okay. Pondré el abogado que estaba previamente para representarlo a usted.
And I'll set a status conference April 24th at 8:30.
Quiero una conferencia abril 24 a las 8:30.
You have a secured appearance bond of $250.
Tiene un vínculo de $250.
Laura.
If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with.
Si el bono es pagado, ¿verdad? Usted tiene que firmar un papelón que usted aprueba, perdón.
Did you have any questions, sir?
¿Tiene algunas preguntas, señor?
¿Cómo dice, que tengo que venir a pagar $250, dice?
I gotta come back and pay $250.
Okay. You're saying that I have to pay $250?
Correct.
¿Y cuándo puedo venirlo a pagar? ¿Cuándo lo tengo que venir a pagar?
Where I gotta come pay it at?
When do I have to come and pay it?
Before you're released from custody.
No, pues, wow.
Antes de que lo dejen ir de la custodia.
Amigo, lo que pasa es que no tengo quien me lo venga a pagar, pues, y en realidad la única que puede es mi esposa, pues, pero ella le hace falta, ahorita el 22 de este mes va a dar a luz, y ella no puede andar en carro, pues. Si usted me da la oportunidad, yo cuando vaya a traer a la corte, yo voy y llevo la plata. Lo que pasa es que esta vez no me puede venir a presentar mi corte porque ella se le arregló el embarazo, pues, y me tuve que ir el 15.
The only one that could come pay is my wife, but she can't drive.
Pero si usted me da la oportunidad, porque yo no tengo nadie quien la lleve.
But if you let me go, I'll come back on the court date and give you the
Si me da la
$250.
oportunidad cuando yo venga otra vez o mañana yo vengo y
I'll come back tomorrow.
pago pues, pero no tengo quien me traiga el dinero.
I'll
ni tengo
gladly pay
comunicación
you
con mi
for
esposa
a
ni
burger
nada.
today
Si
and
usted
pay
me
you
puede hacer
tomorrow.
ese favor, yo se lo agradezco y disculpe.
And my apologies in advance.
Okay,
and
I don't
thank
have
you.
anybody to bring me that money at the moment, and my wife is not able to drive. She's supposed to be due on the 22nd of this month, and I wasn't able to come to the last court date because we had some complications with her pregnancy, so I had to take her to the hospital. But if you can give me a chance, I can probably bring the money tomorrow during my next court date to be able to pay.
I don't know how that interpreter remembered all of that. I would have forgot it as soon as he started talking. I got to do on
It
the
looks
fly.
like you've had a couple of times you've appeared before this court, and
That's
you
what
were
I'm saying,
released
Melly.
those times on your own recognizance.
My retention ability is not that
Ok,
greatest.
señor, entonces aquí me parece, ¿verdad? Que usted ha venido bajo esta corte unas cuantas veces y todas las veces, ¿verdad? Usted ha sido dejado libre.
Damn, they already let him
Sí,
out
pero
twice.
como le digo, yo sí vine a todas las cortes, pero ahorita esta
to all the
corte yo iba a venir, pero a mi esposa
My wife.
se le estaba saliendo el líquido de
She
su
was
barriga,
leaking.
pues,
She had
del
she had
15
oil
de
leakage.
marzo, y yo tuve que ir al hospital con
Had
ella.
to take her to the
pues,
hospital.
Como no tengo familia, no
I
tengo
don't have any
hermanos, no
family.
tengo nadie aquí,
He doesn't
yo
have
me tuve
anybody
que
here.
hacer responsable y ella
He has
salió
to be
el 18
responsible.
de ahí del hospital y no me dio chance
Took
de
her to
ir
the
a la corte.
hospital, and
Pero
he
yo
didn't have
le
a chance to go to
digo
court.
que yo le doy mi palabra y si yo
I give
quedo
my
mal,
word.
que la justicia ponga sobre mí la justicia, pues. Pero yo lo único que
not sure what
necesito
that
es
word
que para yo poder traer el dinero, tengo que yo ir a buscarlo porque mi esposa le falta al 22 de este mes, dentro de 5 días ella va a dar luz y ella no puede andar en carro y yo sé que la tengo que llevar al hospital. Pero si yo puedo buscar la plata, yo la traigo mañana o cuando ella me diga que se lo traigo, yo se lo traigo, señor. Eso no es el problema, pues, del
It's not a
dinero.
problem. The money.
En realidad, si yo no vengo más, si no vengo, para la próxima vez cuando me agarren, que no me den beneficio ni nada. Pero yo le pido ahorita esta oportunidad, pues.
He just needs an opportunity to bring the money back.
Okay, yes, I know that I had the court dates, but I've come to all the previous court dates. I just wasn't able to come to this last one. March 15th, my wife was had to go to the hospital due to the complications. You know, there was some water that was leaking from her belly, and she just got out on the 18th. So if I just ask for this one favor, so I can please go ahead and go home, maybe get the money, bring it tomorrow to my next court date.
That's not how these things work. This is not. Please.
Please.
This is the third warrant that has issued on this case, so the bond will remain at $250.
Leaking from her
Okay,
belly.
señor, esta es la tercera orden que se le ha dado en este caso. So, el vínculo seguirá a $250.
Ya.
If you'll step to your left, they'll give you the paperwork with that information, sir.
Fuera.
Please. Si pasa a su izquierda, le darán el papeleo con esa información.
¿Pero qué dice que me puedo ir hoy?
No. Can I leave today?
So I'm able to leave today?
If you post the bond of $250.
Si usted paga el vínculo de $250.
No lo tengo, señora.
He doesn't have it.
No lo tengo y lo tengo en mi casa, pues, pero mi esposa no
He has it
puede
in the
venir
house.
porque ella
My
no
wife
puede
can't bring
manejar. Pero que me dé la oportunidad, por favor,
give me
te
the
lo
opportunity,
pido de
please.
corazón. Que mi hijo va a nacer y mi esposa no tiene nadie quien la lleve.
His
Yo
baby's
te
gonna be
veo
born.
por ella, por favor.
He doesn't
Que
have
cuando
anybody to
yo
take
me
him to the
toque
hospital.
mañana, yo vengo y traigo la plata pasado mañana.
He'll
Es
bring
que no
back the
tengo
money
quien
tomorrow,
me
the
ayude,
cash
pues,
money.
no tengo a nadie de familia aquí. Mi única
He doesn't have
familia
any
es mi
family.
esposa y yo.
Just him and his
Pero yo
family.
voy a
and his
traer
wife.
la plata y si no, para la próxima cuando yo no venga, yo
Here comes the
asumo mi
waterworks.
responsabilidad, pues, que la ley me caiga sobre mí, pues, pero que me dé la oportunidad que yo venga a traer la plata, pues, señor.
Bro
Okay,
is a liar.
but I don't have that money right now. The money is at my house.
Por favor.
You know,
Please.
and my wife can't drive at the moment.
She can't drive.
And my son is about to be
No
born.
llores.
And I just ask you if you give me one more chance
I
to
believe
be
him.
able to bring the money tomorrow. And if I don't show up by the next court date, then let justice be served upon me.
Sir, we can't wait until tomorrow to have the money be posted, but you can contact a bail bonding company to see if they will post the bond. But the bond will remain at $250.
Hey.
Ok, señor, entonces no podemos esperar hasta mañana hasta que se pague el vínculo, pero usted puede comunicarse con una financiera para que le puedan prestar ese dinero.
¿Y cómo es eso para comunicarme con una financiera? ¿Por dónde lo hago?
How am I going to contact the bail bondsman? How
And
do I do that?
Go ahead and communicate with a bail bonding company? How do I do that?
When you get taken to the back, they'll give you phone numbers and a phone to call those.
How do you use a phone?
Cuando lo lleven atrás, le darán una lista de números de teléfono para que usted les pueda llamar.
Ya.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, sir.
Next!
Pase su izquierda, le darán ese papeleo.
Up next on The Price is Wrong, who would it be?
And I'm going to take a quick recess to do some warrants that are way behind.
Quick recess? Come on, Judge. We're an hour in already. It's already tomorrow. We're already on Thursday. How dare you, Judge?
Did they disconnect? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That concludes all of our Spanish cases. I appreciate your assistance this evening, and feel free to disconnect at your convenience.
Of course, you have one for
She needs a break after him.
Thank you, you too.
Nah. All right, so she needs a break. She probably needs to go hit a whiskey or a shot of bourbon or something. I'm sure all these cases stress her out. First that lady that her son got into that accident, and then this guy with his. Come on, man. Knock it off. You gotta. At some point, you just gotta be responsible. Hey, it's only gonna work. They let him out 3 times. He had 3 failure appears. The third one, that's it. They just said, hell nah. Hey, Matt, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Some people are crazy with their stories. I couldn't do all of that. I'd be like, whatever. I did it. Yeah, I didn't show up. Oh, well, it is what it is. I was living the life. It be like that sometimes. There was plenty of times I didn't show up to court. But I wasn't crying when they were telling me that they were going to hold me. It was what it was. I knew what was coming my way. And I was ready to accept those consequences when they did. Nah, James, you're lying. Nah, yeah. That's what it was. I got no family. Yeah, right. He got that 250 stashed in the walls at the crib. You're right. They gave him. Okay, she's back.
Can I have Edgar Jimenez to the podium?
Edgar Jimenez.
Hey, good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening. Could I get your name and date of birth?
My name is Edgar Jimenez, July 12, 1990.
Thank you so much, sir. It
Damn,
looks like
Edgar.
you have a warrant coming out of the state, actually 2 warrants from the state of Texas. Did you get an opportunity to review a laminated card?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to have an option and a choice that you're going to have to make here today, and we're going to go over those, okay? So as I mentioned, you have 2 warrants from the state of Texas, and they have indicated to us that they want to extradite you back to Texas. And so the option you have today is if you're ready and willing to go back to Texas on these charges, you can say, I'll waive any extradition hearing here in Arizona. If you do that, you will be held in the Maricopa County Jail, non-bondable for up to 30 days, giving Texas an opportunity to come pick you up and take you to Texas to be heard on those warrants.
Texas is going to pick him up.
Or, in the alternative, you're entitled to an extradition hearing here in Maricopa County. That would be set May 28th at 1:30 in the afternoon, and you would be saying, before I'm extradited back to Texas, I want the governor of Arizona and the governor of Texas to both sign a warrant ordering me to go back.
Some carne
That's
asada.
about a 60 to 90-day process, but you would be given a secured appearance bond of $25,000 in each case for a total of $50,000. And if you posted that bond, you would be released pending the governor signing a warrant ordering you to go back. But you would need to ensure you attend the hearing here on April 28th. Another caveat I forgot to mention is if you do waive your right and you're held non-bondable here in Maricopa County, that 30 days starts tomorrow as long as you don't have any other pending charges here in the state of Arizona. So do you know which option you would like to do?
So, question. On the bondable option, right? The bondable option, what possibility would be that if I promise this court to attend all hearings, or do I have to be? I mean, I have to be a security bond
You would have to post a secured appearance bond of $50,000.
through a bond company, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would rather have that option to call a bond company and be like, hey, can we get this done as soon as possible so we can get bonded out.
Okay.
ASAP and then go through the process. Now, you mentioned that it can take up to 90 days for them to sign. Now, what if in those 90-day period they say, you know what, we'll continue the process in Maricopa County? Is that a possibility?
Well, the charges you have pending in Texas will not be resolved here. The only thing you would be having here in Maricopa County is whether or not they're going to order you to be extradited back to Texas or not. Okay. But you won't ever be able to resolve the underlying charges that you have coming out of Texas.
So we'll have to hire an attorney in Texas and an attorney here.
You may be entitled to court-appointed counsel in Texas regarding your criminal charges. I don't know. You need to check with Texas. However, for the Arizona case, your right to the extradition, that is civil in nature. So if you do want counsel, you would have to hire your own attorney for this hearing on April 28th. Otherwise, you would represent yourself because I can't appoint you an attorney.
Mr. Represent himself.
If I said May, I meant April. It's April 28th at 1:30.
Okay, I was like, wait, okay. Now, if they order extradition, right, it gives them 90 days for them to extradite me?
No, so the process to determine whether or not both governors are going to sign an extradition warrant could take up to 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
That's just an estimated time of the process to determine whether or not, if you choose the option to have an extradition hearing here, it's a process of 60 to 90 days before it's determined whether or not both governors sign that, issuing a warrant for you to be extradited back to Texas.
Okay.
If you waive that and you're held non-bondable, then we give them 30 days from tomorrow to come pick you up.
So now, just to clarify,
he got a list.
Right, it goes through the night. 90 day. Would I be held at Maricopa County, or would I be still until they say, you know what, we'll issue the warrant?
If you don't post bond, then you'll remain in custody until the end of that 60 to 90 day process. If you post bond, then you'll be out, and you just need to ensure you attend the hearings they schedule you for.
Oh, okay. Moving forward here in AC, exactly. And obviously. In Texas, I'll have to deal with them.
Exactly.
We need him to ask questions
because
because
may or may
he might be the last case of the night.
60 to 90 days, extradite you back to Texas. That's what you're going to have hearings set here in Maricopa County for, to determine that. You have to go to those hearings. If you fail to go to those hearings, you'll now have a warrant in Texas for the criminal charges. You'll have a warrant here, and they'll keep the bond that you posted here.
Right.
So make sure, if you choose this route and get the hearing set April 28th and you post that bond, just make sure to abide by all the hearing dates you have in Maricopa County while you find out if they're going to order your extradition back to Texas.
I mean that's fine. I can post the bond, okay. The security bond, and then I can hire attorneys in both states, which I already have.
Big baller shot collar. I can't even afford one lawyer.
Hire for in any case, so
I could barely buy a dozen eggs, if you will.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. You're entitled to do that. Your next hearing here will be April 28th at 1:30. Same date and time and location for both of the warrants from Texas. Okay? So is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and affirm that hearing April 28th at 1:30. You'll have a secured appearance bond of $25,000 in each case for a total of $50,000. And again, just ensure that you attend that hearing so you don't get any failure to appear warrant in Arizona and forfeiture of that bond, okay?
Right.
Okay, if you'll take a seat out there, they will print that paperwork and bring it out to you.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, he's gonna have the cantina, man. He's gonna have all the sopas. He's gonna have the
concludes
chicharrones.
Our 11 p.m. calendar. We will now stand in recess until 5 a.m.
What? 5 a.m.? Man, hey, he's gonna be the connector in the jail, man. He's gonna have everything. He's gonna have everything lined up under his belly. He's just lift it up like, sopa for you, a bar of soap for you. Pop, 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 pop. And with that, sheesh, this is the last quarter of the night, man. Hey, I wish I could stand a little bit longer. Let me see. He can afford the best lures. Look how eating good. Hell yeah, gonna be eating instant frijoles con sopas, if you will. Gonna get the summer sausage, cut it up with the plastic, what is it, the spork. Vámonos. Gonna crush up the chicharrones, the Doritos, the hot fries. Sheesh! You see, why didn't they read his charges? Because he was a warrant. Normally they don't read the warrants from other states, if you will. They never brought that lady back up. Yeah, they brought her back up. The one with the son. Yeah, they brought her up right before this dude. Let me see. Hasta mañana, James. That's right. Everybody have a great morning. If you will, all he needs is if you will. Let me see. WTH. He was related to El Chopo. What? Never heard of that. Chopo. Who's that? Is that the Chapo's brother? Good night, James. Hey, good night, Christina. What happened? That's it. It's over. His last quarter of the night. It's already freaking midnight. It's 12:12 already. It's time for Chapo. Let me see. Everybody tap before we go. Hey, and if you haven't done so, please do so. Hit that follow button. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll probably be on for a few hours in the morning and maybe about 8 a.m. if you will. We'll be here. Hasta mañana, carnal. Hey, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all you guys tuning in, day after day, hour after hour. I see you guys been raking up those hours just like I do. Man, today I pulled in some major hours today here. But it be like that sometimes. Stay on. Hell, I got to go to sleep and I got to wake up at 5:45 to get Florida going. Let me see. Do a all-nighter. I'll be sleeping right here. That doesn't be my all-nighter. You guys are going to be looking at me right here, drooling and sleeping. Be like, damn, James, you get down like that? I'll be gone. I'll be counting the sheeps in about 25 minutes, if you will. Hey, anyhow, I do appreciate you guys. Hey, I am CollectCall James, sleeping like the dude on the stage. That fool was on a good one. That fool had his mouth open, ready to catch some flies. He had the fly trap ready, or I like to say the cock holster, if you will. Anyhow, I do appreciate you guys. Hey, you guys have a good one. If you guys are wet on the West Coast, catch some sleep. If you're in England or Australia, I'll be seeing you guys later on in the evening. Laughing out loud. Nah, man, respect. I have a daughter myself that I gotta. Yeah, right. Hey, I am CollectCall James. You guys are watching. You have a CollectCallFrom. And like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it slices out. And with that, we're out. Damn, James, what does that mean? Life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it slides out. What does it mean, James? I don't get it. You on tomorrow? I'll be on for a little bit tomorrow. I'll be on for maybe like 2-3 hours. I got some for the next 3 days. I'm really not gonna be on that much. I'll be on at least for an hour or two. I'll try my best, but I probably won't be back on until Sunday with the prison phone calls. The Sunday prison phone calls from Centinela State Prison. But if you see me pop up, pop in. All right, and with that, I'm out. You guys have a good one. A rato. Boyd, yeah, I can. I could. What up, Megan? Damn, Megan, you showed up late. I gotta go. It's bedtime. You guys have a good one. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys. What up? Who is this? Steven Ray. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this stream up for those of you that want to come back at 5 a.m. I'm gonna leave it up. All right. Or if you guys want to play it back, go ahead and do that. Let's see, you gotta shut all this stuff down here. Turn off my microphone here.